Yo, people, and welcome to another episode of For a Different Lens podcast. I am your co-host, Joe.
And I'm Jacob.
How we doing, my brother? How are we doing?
All okay, man. Another week down, another week into the rehab process. I don't think it's even, I don't even know. I don't feel like I'm rehabbing right now. It feels like I'm just resting. But yeah, the Achilles feeling a lot better. We're trying to just go through the days. So yeah, feeling good, in good spirits. Happy to be back on the pod. You know,
Yes.
might have to start doing it a bit more frequently just because I've got too much time on my hands. So we might
mean,
just have to.
I
So
mean,
yeah, man.
just give me the call, mate. I got
Yeah,
some time on my hands here and there. Do you know what I mean, mate? If we need,
100%, 100%.
if needs be, we might have to do daily or every 2 days or something at certain points.
Yeah, 100%. Nightcap. I see them every single day at any
Yeah.
moment. There's no harm in us doing it too. You get what I mean?
No, it's true. It's true. It's actually not a bad idea. Do you know what is with you as well? Because you're so used to being like ultra busy, either in season, football or no football. Like you're generally up late, up early, out and about. Like this last couple of weeks is probably the longest you've spent in your house in totality. Oh, versus the last 2 years, maybe.
100%. 110%. Honestly, the fact that I left my house for the first time properly on, what's the day today? It's Friday. On Wednesday. That's the first time I've left my house in properly after surgery. So
Mm,
literally in 2 weeks.
all right.
That's the first time I've literally gone in the car and gone to, not my car, but gone into a car and gone around. I was looking at the roads that, my goodness, I feel like they've
Man,
changed.
man said civilization. Man said the roads changed, you know.
Bro,
Ah,
petrol was 185. I said, wow. Well, diesel was
petrol or
183.
diesel?
Diesel was 185.
Yeah.
I
It's
came
crazy,
out, I
bro.
said, wow, it's cheaper. I ain't been gone that long.
Oh yeah, because it was before you injured yourself, it was around 190 something two, innit?
Yeah, 197
Yeah,
to 2. So crazy. How's things? I see you playing badminton this morning. How was that?
mate, just came back from. It wasn't a good session at all. It wasn't like I ain't lost in singles for time because me and two of my other guys, shout out Freddie and GB. GB had a great day. He actually smashed us, bruv. Like, just that's probably the most dominant day someone's had, and I was like, "Fuck," because he tried coming with this excuse early on, saying, "Oh, his body was hurting from his run yesterday," and I was like to Freddie, I was like, "He's trying it, but technically his body's warm, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, it might be aching, but it's warm." So
Yeah.
once you overcome the pain barrier, he actually battered us today. So, but it was good to get back. Well, I say get back. We haven't done it for a few weeks, and just get a form of exercise. And do you know what it is with badminton? It's an economical sport. Like it makes sense. The hall's
It
cheap.
does.
Shout out my boy, plays as well for getting the hall for us. But
I'll be
even if
honest.
even if paying the hall's cheap compared to say
Like,
paddle or most other things that you do where it requires equipment and stuff like that. So yeah.
badminton's a real racket sport, though. Paddle is not a real racket sport. Badminton is a real racket sport, as in the you have to have actual hand-eye coordination to play, and I feel like it requires a certain level of athleticism.
Do you know? I think I agree. I believe it's more skill than athleticism compared to paddle. I think they like
Okay.
maybe I'm wrong because one of my boys he couple weeks ago done paddle training. He paid for a session with I think the number one ranked player in Great Britain, and he said like the hour that session that he learned and he implemented in his games followed up after. He won like all his games. He said that hour alone helped his game and changed his perspective so much in it because he'd been
Right.
looking into going like paddle camp in Spain to train with or like a course with like the top 2 or top 3 players in the world in it. And he's like like the ones that consistently go out the mandem, They say now there's no point playing them because it's a waste of their time. Not even in an arrogant way. They said the
Right.
levels that they are now is different in it because they play 3, 4 times a
All the
week or
time.
something like that. Whereas I ain't played in a minute. So I
Yeah.
mean, there is a big level of skill in that as well, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I just find paddle is it's such a like when you look at racket sports, I go tennis is by far the hardest. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I go tennis is by far hardest, and then when you go down like the range of racket sports in terms of, I'll then go probably tennis, then probably squash, and then from there I go badminton. I don't even probably go table tennis before I go paddle.
Ooh. I I don't know. I think paddle might be. I think Paddle's more. I can't say which one's harder yet, but the only reason why I'd say paddle's harder than badminton is more strenuous on your body. Like
Would
I
you
feel
say
the
so?
paddle sessions way more on my body. If I ain't done either for 6 months, paddle my body's gonna be aching for like a couple of days after. Whereas badminton, my body can wear out of it quicker. Maybe
But
that's just
paddles are always a double sport.
no. You can do singles as well. The courts are slightly smaller on the single one.
Okay, it's only
But
I've
even like
only
the
ever
the
seen.
doubles, bro, if you're doing a good, I'd say if you do 90 minutes doubles compared to even a single session badminton, 'cause if you do single session or doubles in badminton for 90 minutes, you're not gonna feel you're not gonna exert as much energy as you would paddle.
Do you not think so? Because I know badminton. Obviously, badminton's so much about. Obviously, it's about touch and skill. But
Yeah,
there's all. I always think to myself, anything that you're blocked in that's allowed to hit a wall and you can play off of. Obviously, squash is different because there's two of you on the same court and you're having to move in different angles and run close.
yeah,
And you get what I mean. I feel like when you're playing badminton, because the shuttlecock is so like flimsy, yeah,
mm,
your mind has to be always ready. Your body always has to be ready. Like touch happens, you have to be low, you have to get to a specific place. The net is at a certain height. Do you get what I mean? Like paddle is
yeah.
the net's relatively low. You can just flick it over the net. You can hit it off a wall and then it can. Do you get what I mean? Badminton is all about skill, touch, where you're going, your movement, agility, your flexibility.
But
It's something smaller to hit. I know it's lighter and airy, but I think it's harder to hit than a ball.
no, it is in terms of the airy part. But the reason why I say when you put squash in the hard ranking, paddle goes with it is because you can use other factors that completely detract your movement, like using the wall. Like you could just
Correct.
like that. You know your court with tennis, badminton. You know your court. Obviously, all of them. You know your court. But the fact that you can use the walls makes it actually harder. If someone's so skilled, like
You have to be skilled enough
badminton,
to use the wall though,
yeah,
because
which is
you know,
exactly,
yeah, because trying to use the wall in squash and you're not good enough about timing it, you'll just hit the floor or hit yourself an ankle. I've seen
yeah.
many a man do it. I'm thinking, bro, you're not skilled enough to do that. Just hit the wall straight away. So I just feel like playing squash, you run way more
I can imagine squash. I've not played squash in bloody donkey years, but I
because
can imagine that one.
the ball's tiny first off,
Yeah.
and it's not a ball that really is made to bounce like that. Do you get what I mean? It's not made. It's made to like be flat.
Mm.
So it hits, and then you like everything is you.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
think.
I know, I hear it. I do hear it. I just from the ones that I played, I say of recent times, paddle is more strenuous on my body. I definitely feel it more. Like
Mm,
even the doubles, if you're playing for even an hour, it can be, but 90 minutes, bro, like the work is real. Like,
yeah.
because for instance, if someone fully slams it into your body, you have less of a chance than you do in badminton, if that makes sense.
In
Because
terms of they hit the ball directly at you.
yeah, badminton is more you're reading the flight. Pa- pa- Paddle, you can't really get out of the way. Someone can
Yeah,
slam it in
no,
your face at paddle. No one can. Badminton is very rare that you'll get slammed in the face.
no. Of course, of course. I'm just thinking about when I'm. when you watch the highest level, let's not go to like the level
Yeah,
at work
okay.
like that. When you watch the highest level of these sports, what do you then say is a harder sport to play?
See, paddle, I don't think now it's gonna make me want to watch a high level game. I don't think I've watched a high level paddle game. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Whereas like badminton by default, because of the Olympics, I've seen it since I was a kid.
Mm,
And I've seen badminton players when I was a kid in school, for instance, or
yeah.
obviously tennis, squash. Whereas paddle is a
Mhm.
newbie sport. It's not a sport that's been televised. It's just
No.
for us, it's a social thing more than say other European countries where they're actually really ranked.
Mhm.
So maybe paddle, I need to watch pros go at each other and then kind of, or not give me a gauge of it, but like you'll see, all right, cool, where we lack in skill
Yeah.
and where they overcome us and everything else in that sense. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. No. I just feel like any sport that hasn't been, and this might be me being biased, but any sport that hasn't been part of the Olympics as a racket sport yet isn't respected enough to be difficult enough to. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear it. But again, it's because you can say that with some sports that are not racket sports, that are not big in the Olympics, or they've never made the Olympics.
Like,
But
what would you say?
uh, well, one football, the way Great Britain take football to Olympics, Great Britain ain't had a football team since they hosted the Olympics. Um, then so it shows they don't take football serious for it to be an Olympic sport.
That's
That's
because
part
we
of
don't. I well, I think there's a lot of differences
funding as
in.
well.
Yeah, I think there's differences in how they would do it because obviously the Olympics usually comes around and there's a major tournament that same year, some half the time. I sometimes think it's just going to be difficult for them to even try
No, no,
to.
that's true. But football, you still got a bigger pool. Like when we hosted it, they still were selected between the couple countries
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
I
They're not
understand that.
gonna they're not gonna select the ones that are playing for England week in week out, for instance. So
No, I do get that. I just think to myself, the way England take it, I'm just talking about Olympics as a whole, because obviously other countries, the main footballing countries, Brazil have always taken that seriously. Argentina have always taken that seriously. You get what I
yeah.
mean? Like massive France, like most footballing nations have always taken it seriously. Even rugby, we know we take it serious when it comes to that
But
side of
even
things.
but even Olympics, like we won't send our best rugby players
Well, rugby
because it's
sevens is sevens,
yeah,
so we we kind of send a good. We send the Great Britain Sevens team though.
yeah. But like obviously, I can't remember if sevens is similar to union or league, but they if
Sevens
it's
is
similar to
union.
union,
Sevens
you're
is
not
union.
sending. Yeah, you're not sending none of the actual
No, because they're
English.
not good at sevens though.
Yeah.
Your sevens players are different to obviously because I played rugby in secondary school, so we had
Mm,
obviously our union team and then our seven side. Obviously, we'd been picked from the 15, but do you get what I mean? It's
right. Right.
usually it's usually just how you play. Sevens is a completely different game. You need to. It's the same size pitch, and there's 14 players on the whole pitch, so you have to be able to run. There's no time for these big props, and no, we don't need you.
Yeah.
It's a 6-man scrum. It's three people. You don't even care if you really win it. It's all about fitness, interception, speed, timing. Like I played with Alex Donbrandt, who plays for Harlequins in England now. If I've got that wrong, sorry, Alex. But he was in our sevens team in secondary school, and he could play sevens because how good he is. But
Right.
there's probably better sevens players specifically for sevens in the world. Like you see who dominates sevens. Fiji, Kenya are always good at sevens.
Mm,
Like those nations, because not the best nations at rugby union, the full tilt. But
mm.
when it comes to sevens, it's a different game.
Well, I guess that goes with a similar argument of a similar sport, NFL and flag football of recent. Um, Initially, before that, some people thought that NFL players would just absolutely dominate flag football. But then when it came against facing the flag football team, they wiped the NFL players. This was what beginning of last or 2 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, because now we're in May, they wiped them, and the ones that follow flag football, they were not surprised. They were like, it's a completely different sport. For instance, obviously the concept is effectively the same, kind of like sevens to union, but it's like, bro, these man, this is their go-to thing.
100%. 100%. That's how you have to look at it, as you said. And as sevens and union, two completely different games. The NFL football and flag football are two different games. You have a different set of, not a different set of rules, but when you're playing on, it's NFL flag football is a different size pitch. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
Everyone plays offense, everyone plays defense.
yeah,
You can't hit anybody. You're having to grab a flag. There's certain body movements that are completely different. You can see it's a different game.
mm,
Like, quarterback doesn't have to be throwing passes well. They can just fling it like this and then someone can be good.
yeah, yeah,
It's more just what you do in school, like backyard football. It's similar. I feel like a Kyler Murray, a Lamar Jackson would be better at flag football
than the
than,
prototypical
yeah,
quarterbacks.
than for instance, Kirk Cousins. These men are, I know Lamar Jackson, Lamar's better than him in every aspect of football anyway, but you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Then Tom Brady at, let me say Tom Brady, then Tom Brady at flag football, for instance.
yeah. To be fair, Brady played it or this recent game as well. So no, I guess. But again, that the reason I brought up that as well is that's just gonna be introduced to the Olympics next, the 28 Olympics. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Obviously in
Hmm.
LA as well. So that's the first time anything NFL based is gonna be, or American football based is gonna be at the Olympics.
But that's only because American football is really American football. It's not really played anywhere else like that. There's no massive, massive leagues anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's what I almost think.
Yeah, yeah. There's no massive leagues, but countries do have like their teams, and they do.
Yeah,
You'll have like teams in Europe. There's a team in the UK as well. So
but like that, if you revert that to paddle, paddle was what originated in Spain, and I feel like
I'd
it's just
like to
been
think because I think the top three players are from Spain in the world.
yeah, and I feel like it's been a in-house Spanish sport. I feel like paddle's been just it's been a paddle craze in the last 18 months. And people just been building arenas everywhere, and then people been going. I mean, like, what's this paddle stuff that everyone just started going to?
Mm,
So I feel like is similar to what American football is. Paddle is Spain's racket sport.
mm. Well, and
So
tennis,
that's
but yeah,
yeah. But that's their one that they can say this is ours. Blah blah
their
blah.
niche one.
Yeah. So that's what I think. That's what I think for those type of sports. Just the odd ones that aren't in the mainstream.
Because I can see maybe even 2032 World Cup, 2032 Olympics. I won't be surprised if they introduce paddle as a sport there.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. If because of the craze it's got now,
Yeah,
I think definitely. But it's just would they have to then establish themselves as having a paddle league, having a
yeah,
World Cup? They probably have these things, but you get what I mean. We just don't know about them. But would it be
yeah.
have to
Their
be
form of a
more?
diamond league and all that jazz.
Yeah, just so you can have the respect to. Oh yeah, we are now adding this as a new sport to the Olympics because you know they don't play around with those sports. They remove some, they add some.
Mm,
So that's where I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna do because obviously
yeah,
each
yeah.
time Olympics comes around, they do what they want for that country. I think flag football might be removed after this Olympics.
Same. Same. It's just because it's in LA.
Hmm.
Because even then, like you're saying, a league for paddle or some form of a diamond league. What about flag football? We
Yeah.
don't. I don't. Obviously, if
Nah.
there's a way to make money for athletes, bro, someone's gonna make sure there's like, oh, the US are playing Great Britain on a Saturday in March for the
Mm.
league table or something. Something like
Yeah.
I can't fathom that, but if it's gonna create some form of a buzz or something like that, then boy,
So be it. Because I don't know. Is baseball at the Olympics?
I don't think so. But they just had the baseball world, whatever that tournament
Yeah.
was. Let me
So
see.
I feel like they could introduce. I would have thought they would have introduced baseball, but the problem is obviously it only being in LA. Can you? In fact, you can.
So, uh, baseball at Summer Olympics unofficially debuted Paris, blah blah blah. It became an Olympic sport in the '92 Summer Olympics in Barcelona. Then was played at each Olympics through to summer to 2008. Sorry, the sport was dropped from the Olympic program until being revived 2020 Olympics for a single appearance. It is next expected to be part of the LA Summer Olympics.
Okay, so basically, America are bringing back like American sports for this Olympics, and then we'll see if they continue.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
think so Olympic baseball is governed by the World Baseball Softball Confederation. It happened in 2020 last, then before that was 2008. So it's going to be in 2028, but they don't think it's going to be in 2032.
Yeah.
So between 84 to 2008, they had a stretch where it went 7 Olympics in a row.
Mm,
Then 2 Olympics it didn't, came back for 1, not the last one, it's coming back for 1, then it's going to skip again. So,
right. That
but
makes sense, Deji.
we've just seen the World Baseball International Tournament,
Championships. Yeah,
whatever it's called. Even though it was a limited countries, the buzz that it got
it was
from
good.
when I'm watching Fox analyst and stuff like that.
It
For
was good.
instance, DR were one of the
Well,
best teams, even though they didn't win it, they were arguably the best team in terms of natural talent.
oh yeah, because that's their national sport. It's weird how
Yeah,
the world works, like in terms of wherever you go and you think, what is their national sport? And you go, that's a national sport. Like Jamaica, for instance, sprinting is a national sport, if we're
yeah,
being
literally.
dead serious. But then VR, it being baseball, like baseball is the way to get out of the country and make millions and
In
do
the
what you want to
States, yeah,
do.
yeah.
It's crazy because in our heads, in England, football is the one. You get what I mean? You don't even think about picking up a baseball bat or the closest we get to baseball here is rounders.
And that's not even, but from a sporting level, where to become a pro is cricket.
Exactly, exactly. And cricket's translation to baseball isn't similar at all if you think
Yeah,
about it.
no, not at
So
all.
like, and they always say in baseball you got to be playing the game from very very young,
Mm,
and they're talking about like 4 or 5 to understand it. If you start baseball late, there's no starting baseball late. If you haven't played it by the time you're like 9, 10, forget about it.
mm.
So that's what's interesting about that one there.
No, it's actually true, I guess because here we're obviously football's bread and butter, but we're so sport for choice in terms of sports. Can Great Britain can put a team out for probably any Olympic sport, or they should be
Yeah,
able to for any Olympic
100%.
sport. Whereas most countries, um, like you're saying, DR, baseball will be their thing because they're close to America. They know
Hmm.
they can go there, earn stupid amount of money, and then boom. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not gonna delve into it, but it kind of touches upon recent comments made about when Meg the Stallion and Clay Thompson broke up about how Clay wasn't known worldwide, etc. Blah blah blah. Or
Mm.
Meg helped boost his worldwide popularity. And I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, like that's such an ignorant way to look at it. If just because you don't know the sport or you don't know NBA players, one NBA
Hmm.
is big in the UK because of the cultural aspect, but
Yep.
on a worldwide aspect, basketball is a lot of countries' first or second sports.
Hmm.
A lot Most of the European countries, I say most, but a lot of European countries, they've all got better basketball leagues than the British Basketball League. So
Oh
by
yeah.
default, they all know a lot of their countries, basketball might be their second sport. They guaranteed know NBA players galore, from the superstars to not the superstars.
Yeah.
And then because a lot of the American players also play in the European leagues, which are so
Yep.
well respected. And then, for instance, sticking on Clay Thompson, he's Anta Shoes in China. China's got over 1 billion population. He's a megastar in China. He's a superstar in a lot of other Asian countries, the Philippines and all that stuff. It's like Australia got a very well respected league. New Zealand do it and I'm like, bro, so forget even the North and South American part of the world. From Europe onwards, if even if you don't know NBA stars here, because of how the sport's portrayed, you either know them more through popularity and how we watch American TV, but they are very much known around the world.
Oh,
Like, forget Klay Thompson, a lot of NBA players are known around the world.
yeah. Just because that's exactly what you said. If you're not known here, doesn't mean that you're not known anywhere else.
Mm,
Like Steph Curry walks into a shop here and no one
no
seemed to
one,
bat an eyelid. That's
yeah.
fine. The UK in the grand scheme of things is very small, I,
Mm,
I know because we feel like we run a lot of things in the world. We're a big country. We are very small in population compared to what other countries have and what other countries know. So you can't just go, oh, we don't know them and we are a first world country and we have all this social media. So he must not be known. Bro, that doesn't mean anything when you go across the waters to, as you said, China, where China got a massive basketball league. And you go anywhere in Asia. If you're big in Asia, you're big in the world.
mate. And that's one point. But two, again, the basketball leagues in Europe are a lot of them are very good.
Yeah.
France,
EuroLeague's the second best league in the world.
EuroLeague, France, Spain, Turkey, bro,
Yeah.
Lithuania, so a lot of those countries, even if football's their first sport, basketball's their second sport for most
Think
of
about
them.
you'll know this one as well. Virat Kohli,
Yeah.
one of the most famous sportsmen in the world,
I can
right?
guarantee you most UK bloggers or influencers ain't got a clue
Don't
who he
know who
is.
he is. Won't have a clue. But you go to Asia, India, do you get what I mean? Over there, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, he is the most famous person going.
And it's so funny you mentioned that because this is something I've looked into for a while. I was like, why don't not even why. I've realized the most famous cricket stars in India, for instance, they do not care about being popular in other parts of the world because
You don't need to be.
they earn and generate so much money in India a lot. They match the world stars on football, for instance. Like
Joe, Virat Kohli has 276 million followers on Instagram.
exactly. So that was another argument that was used about Meg having more followers than Clay, and then Steph only having a little bit more. And we could just say, for instance, all right, none of you for a fact know about Virat Kohli, or no one from our culture knows about Virat Kohli, but we do because we watch cricket. But he's got more
Mm-hmm.
followers than every single NBA star or most football stars that are not Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah.
He's
He's
probably
got
got
more
more.
followers than LeBron James
Yeah.
by
Like,
100 million more, 100 million more, 120 million more followers than LeBron James.
let me
Who,
check
guess what?
Mbappe. So Mbappe's got 131. How many 131 million followers? How many followers did you say Virat Kohli has?
276
You see?
million.
And the reason why I mention Mbappe, because sometimes we jump on Americans for saying they could be so ignorant about their athletes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how big they are, you using LeBron, they'll think LeBron's like worldwide, whereas like Messi and Ronaldo especially,
Way bigger.
yeah, Ronaldo will crush like 5 of the top NBA players by himself, maybe
Yeah.
in terms of popularity. And then Mbappe right now, in terms of this generation, is probably the biggest footballer. And we've just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Virat Kohli, who's on the tail end of his career in India. And we saw it with MS Dhoni as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these men are, they're giants. They are superstars in terms of their branding, that they don't even care about the Western world.
They don't need to. This doesn't bring them anything. Like
Yeah.
England, what's England? That's what they're saying. What is England? Why do I need to go there?
But
They're
in
even
terms
probably
of,
saying,
go on,
God,
sorry.
no, God.
Now, I was just going to say, in England itself, in terms of just say middle class onwards, probably the middle class sector all know about Virat Kohli. Do
Oh,
you know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
So
But you see,
cricket's
Virat
classed
Kohli,
as a middle class upward sport. Do you know what I mean? So,
the thing is, Virat Kohli in certain places in London would be like mobbed.
oh, he'll shut down. Virat Kohli in London will shut down places in London
Yes.
easily,
Yeah,
easily.
100%. But guess what? People will be online saying, I don't know this guy. And if he dated someone like Meg the Stallion, she was the one that put him on the map.
Yeah,
That's what they would be saying. And you're sitting
yeah.
there going, you guys just don't know. You have to understand. And I know the conversation is about pop culture and music culture expands further than sports. And that's when I have to go, sorry. I don't think you understand how big sports are in the grand scheme of this world. As in, sports crosses over into every single culture.
Hmm.
And most people that follow sports know what's going on elsewhere. But most people that don't follow sports, you'll know sportsmen. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. The only
You'll know
thing I get,
sportsmen.
the flip side is by default, a musician, they're likely to be on your screen more. That's it.
Fine.
That
That's
is
fine.
literally it. But if they did autograph signing, chose particular names, I'm not even gonna name names. I guarantee you I can name easily all the top 10 NBA players, because it was top 10 that was first mentioned. They would sell out O2 Arena rather than Meg.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And that's just the top 10 of this current generation.
Yeah. 100%.
Even
100%.
Jokic don't care about publicity or social media. I don't even think Jokic was on Instagram. If Nikola Jokic decided to come, he said, "I'm doing a signing at the O2."
Do you know what I don't think people don't understand? Like, whole countries, when people are from a specific country, like Virat Kohli, like Jokic, like Luka Doncic, whole countries follow that person. They're the most famous person in their country, in
And
their
then
region.
yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, people will say, like, think about Heung-min Son. No one understands how big Son is in England, but you take Son back over there,
Right.
Park
Mate,
Ji-sung, you take their man back over there,
go
back
go.
home.
No, Son, go. You look how much South Koreans support Spurs because of Son. Go to Tottenham Stadium. Even
This is
still
it.
to this day, he's left.
This is it. That's why I think people that are online saying these things don't understand the magnitude of what these people do for their countries.
Yeah.
Because when you're big somewhere, and you see it like with like smaller football players that I don't even know, or I know of,
Hmm.
and they go and they play for nation, for let's say a UAE, a nation in the Emirates, yeah.
Hmm.
And the way they get followed and their following is because they're like one of the most famous people in their country. And they come back to England, they're no one. But they don't care
Hmm.
about being it. They don't care about England because where they're loved and where they're respected is home.
Yeah.
And that's where they make all their money, home. And they come here and then just have a jolly up.
Because even again, I really didn't want to touch upon it, but the Meg and Clay stuff of Clay supposedly using Meg to build his brand or popularity. I'm like, Clay's at the tail end of his career. Whatever fan base he gathered from Meg I highly doubt it's going to benefit him. Or if it does benefit him financially, it's going to be to a very minuscule number, like anything like that. And it's so funny. I tweeted this and I said it like when I saw my sister last week, or was it beginning of this week, and I spoke to her about the Clay Meg stuff. She was like, and this is where I knew people were capping, because my sisters, some of them, your best friend, she's not on social media or
Mm.
like that. She said Clay has been like when Meg's statement come out, she was like, Clay's been known of how he was with his exes because he was with
Mm-hmm.
Laura Harrier and with Coco Jones.
Yep.
And I was like, this is why I knew people were capping. I was like, bro, like, you lot that
He's
follow the
dated
pop
high profile
culture,
people before.
you lot that follow the pop culture or that care about online relationships or celebrity relationships. I was like, it's not like Meg was the first celeb that Clay dated. You lot knew
Exactly.
that. Do you know what I mean? It's just Clay's a quiet person, and he still was like.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, one, the sporting argument, and then two, he's dated high profile people that people
100%.
love. Like,
Yeah. Uh, you just got, social media ain't real, man. You gotta let people do what they want to do on there, and hey,
it is,
but
it is. But I guess when you double down and then you start naming, even you look at Shay. I just checked. Shay's not even got 5 million followers on on Instagram. But like he said, he's got the whole country of Canada. That population alone, everyone in America knows he is. He's got an argument for the best player in the world, which we're gonna touch upon soon.
This is the
Like
thing. NHL
he's a,
players.
if Shea goes to practically most countries, he's gonna shut down maybe, let's just say 80% of the world, and that's just me being dramatic, but it might be true.
Yeah. Like,
That
but
and
when
Shea
you
don't even promote himself.
that's the thing. That's the thing. You look at it like this. NHL players, I probably know like 3, and I don't even know if they're still playing. Yeah. But somewhere out there, these guys are major, major celebrities. Somewhere out there. And that's what you got to look at it like. They're big where they need to be big. They're just not big in everyone's eyes because not everyone plays the same. Not everyone's in the same space. It's like content.
Yeah,
It's so similar. It's like content. There's massive content creators that I will never, ever, ever come across, will never, ever
facts.
know,
Well, you
but
know
they're
of them.
massive. Yeah, but they're
Facts,
massive in their space. I saw
facts.
someone sent me a video the other day of someone who had 1 million followers in a specific space, and I was like, oh, they're doing their thing. I had never seen them before because I
Yeah,
don't
fact.
follow that space. So that's what the argument is silly, because if you don't follow this, why do you expect them to be popular in this space
Yeah.
that
That's
you're
it.
in?
Mate, that's why my tweet, and I think I even commented on Shade Room for one of the minimal times in my life. I was like, sometimes people need to stop saying we and say I. If you
That's
don't know
it.
that person, that just go with that, or your
Mm-hmm.
particular fan base doesn't know that person. Go with that. Because for a
Mm-hmm.
fact, Clay's face, even if you don't really know him properly at all, which is completely fine, and I hear that argument, you definitely know who Clay Thompson is because he's part of arguably the greatest duo in NBA history, and Steph Curry's face is always shown. And without showing Steph in the last 10 years, you're always going to show Clay next to him because they're the flipping splash brothers.
Correct,
Simple as.
man.
Clay's been used for memes. He's been used for pictures next to Steph. Clay don't
Mm-hmm.
have to say nothing. Clay is a well, he's a superstar. Just say you don't know him, and that's it. That's my thing with people.
And what else? The last thing for me is, why does everyone care so much about other people's relationships?
That as
It's
well.
their relationship. You're not in it. You're not doing anything with them. You don't even know them personally. Leave them to do what they're doing. Don't get involved and go about your life. Because at the end of the day, Meg got money, Clay got money. They're going to be fine regardless. You, on the other hand,
100%.
that's on the internet, typing. Please go and do what you need to do to get the same money as them. But typing about them
Bro,
ain't going to make you nothing.
they don't even know you or care about you like that. That's some jazz. Oh,
Oh,
but no,
man.
that little spiel. I was like, should I bring this up? Because we could have gone into depth even way more. But I was like, bruv, sometimes you
Yeah.
just gotta leave people to it. Like, anyway, shout out people that do their content regardless.
You know what I wanted to speak about though? Sawe, the 1 hour 59 minutes and 30-second marathon.
Mate, mate. I sent you and Deji the tweet, was it maybe after the marathon on Sunday or Monday?
Mm.
And I was like, "Rah, well, you man just airing me, yeah? After this historic feat on the splits, I was
I'll
expecting
be honest.
some commentary." All
I
right,
was
viewers and
watching it
listeners,
live.
in the pod chat, Dej and Jacob completely blanked me when I said, "I have you not seen these splits for each kilometer? How many kilometers? Every 5 kilometers or something like that." But yeah, you go on.
Bro, I think, yeah, what he's done is not being looked at the way it needs to be looked at. It might be one of the greatest sporting achievements ever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think he's going to go faster. So obviously everyone's like, oh, he can go faster in like Berlin because the course isn't as hilly as London. So
Mhm.
they're waiting for that. But it is one of the greatest sporting achievements you're ever going to see, because he has pushed the human body to the absolute limit, on top of the limit, and gone past it, bro. Like, I know they say the Tour de France is hard. In fact, it's just not, don't say they know. The Tour de France is hard and it's
Mhm.
ridiculous. But to run 26.2 miles in 1 hour and 59 minutes and 30 seconds, and to split times that people, so let's put it like this. He was running 100 meters in 17 seconds every single 100 meters he ran for that.
It's mental.
He's sprinting. He's near enough sprinting the whole time.
Mental.
Bro,
But bro, think of the guy that finished second place. I'm gonna mispronounce his name. Kajelka?
yeah,
Kajel?
Kagelcha, yeah.
Kajel? Yeah, sorry. Apologies on my pronunciation there. He ran under 2 minutes. 2 hours as well. It's
First
crazy.
marathon as well. In his first
Yeah,
marathon,
that's crazy.
bro.
That that is crazy. Oh my gosh.
But you could see when running. I've watched it back 2 or 3 times as well, and you could see when they're running, like the commentators saying, "Oh, they surely can't keep this pace. They surely can't keep this pace," and it gets faster and faster, and then like, maybe they're gonna break 2 hours, and it's
Mm.
like, hold on, they're going to break 2 hours, and it was just ridiculous seeing the speed they were running. The pacers were just having to they were useless because they were like, bro, we can't keep this pace. Then Kagelcha even going with Salway's madness. Third place finishing 2 hours and what? He broke 2 hours and like 20 something seconds. Or 2 hours and 2 hours and 6 seconds.
Third place.
Third place. What did he finish in?
2 hours and 28 seconds.
See, he broke the old world record as well.
And then
Like,
fourth was 2 hours and 35 seconds.
and he was on the exact old world. Do you know how ridiculous that race was? And the
Yeah, that's
speed these
mental.
guys were running. Aye.
Bearing in
They
mind, all three of second, third, fourth, they're younger than Sawe. So Sawe was
yeah,
born 95, second 97, third 2000, and then fourth 99. So third and
yeah,
fourth, for instance.
they're ready.
They- yeah.
They're ready. But
Because apparently Sawe was he was generally a pace setter over the last couple of years or something like that, weren't it? And
yeah,
then I can't remember what I read, but they said one of the races he was pace setting, he end up continuing and not pace setting. And people
mm,
think for that moment it clicked to him, I can do this.
yeah. Because to be a pacer in a race, you got to be ridiculously fast anyway.
But at what point, for instance, say obviously I don't really watch marathon, but what point does a pace setter stop, if that makes
There's
sense?
that pacer 1, pacer 2, pacer 3. So,
Right.
by the way, pacers are allowed to finish the race. So pacers, there's no rule against them. They're allowed to run.
Pacers,
If
sorry.
they're feeling good, they can actually just run and finish the race. But they usually drop out at specific times. So
Right.
one may be pacing for 10K, one may be pacing for the next 20, one may be pacing for 30, for instance,
Mhm.
and then you're on your own. But if you can't keep the pace that the runner wants to run, he's just going to run in front of you.
Mm.
And if Sawe was a pacer at one point, he's just probably running on the pace he was running and it just didn't slow down at all. He sped
Mad.
up.
Mad. I
So,
heard Addy sold his branding of the shoe he was wearing the next day, and it was going for like $500-600 or some just
yeah. Yeah.
like. And people were like, Nike have been trying to do this for years, like promote for someone to break the world record in their shoes, and then Addy didn't even try. And but we've seen in football, Addy are killing it on marketing, for instance,
Oh,
over the last couple of years
100%.
compared to Nike.
And I feel like they've got all the top younger players in the world as well. Do you
Mm,
get what I mean? In terms of we know Yamal's about to be the next best player in the world. Who's he signed with?
yeah. It's true. On
So
the marathon, sorry, were you saying which one's harder out of London and Berlin?
so the London Marathon's harder just because it's more hilly. So
Right,
Berlin, apparently you can run faster just because of where you're running.
right,
So apparently, so they're saying he could run 150. If he runs the same pace, he could run 157 out
right.
there.
Okay, got it.
Which,
Right.
boy, yeah, man. But I feel like the people behind him also pushed him more because
I
sometimes if you
mean,
ain't got no
yeah.
one to race, like Kagelcha being there was like, yeah, I'm pushing him.
Bro,
So I feel like that helped.
the top four, there was 1 minute and 5 seconds between them.
See,
Like in the grand scheme of things, when you're actually running and you
it's
look
a
back
long
and
time.
someone's a minute away, it's far. But like,
Yeah,
as a marathon runner, you'll know that that minute is not far.
yeah. It's
That
true.
is that is mental. Because what Kipton, who finished fourth with 2 hours and 35 seconds, would he have broke the world record?
Yes, I think the world record was 2 hours and 35 seconds, so he was on it.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Oh, and then one of them smashed it by a minute, and then the other one
Yeah,
nearly
bro.
a minute. That is insane. Oh my gosh. That is insane. Oh, um,
Evolution, sports, greatest thing in the world.
no, it is. But records are there to be broken.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I feel like a lot more recently are falling more frequently.
Mm.
The
I, I,
technology's got better.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that's true.
The athletes are just stronger and knowing when to train and, injuries, when they have injuries now. Before, if you had a
Mhm,
major injury, that was maybe your running career or your career in sports done to that extent. Now you can come back and be who you want to be.
mhm.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's mental. But I think this will make people even this one superb marketing for the marathon in general, because I feel
Mm,
like this marathon, regardless of the world records, not to dismiss them, a lot of people were looking forward to it in general. Maybe I'm looking at it from our generation perspective because more people, say we know, for instance, partook in it, or a friend of a friend
yeah,
partook in it. Um, the visibility of it, and I think it was like the marathon gave the kind of welcome to some, like the start of summer vibes for London. Like, people spoke so positively of it. Like, someone was one of my old colleagues, she was like, "This is why London's the best city in the world." That, and I've seen a lot of people say that kind of stuff. It just brought on a lot of positivity towards a city that's sometimes gets, rightfully and wrongfully, negative stigma. But I've always said London, when London's happy, London's the best city in the world. Maybe I'm biased or
mm,
not, but it's just a fact. And I feel like the marathon probably kick-started that in that sense. And for next year's marathon, because of these times that were run, and one, just more people looking to sign up for it in general, there's gonna be more even more eyes.
yeah,
Get
100%,
me?
100%.
Before we move on, would you ever run a marathon?
Do you know what? Yeah, I think I would. One time, and I'm never doing, and I never do it again. No, I
Mm,
think I would. And I'm not doing the mad training for it either. I'm just going for football training to do it. I'm not running.
good, fair.
I'm not running for that purpose. I'm gonna go for football and just run and yeah, run. But yeah, I think I'd run it one time.
I can see that happening still. I can see that
Yeah,
happening.
need to get the kidneys back first though. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
was yeah, let's just say 2027 is not happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. 2028 maybe. Maybe
And then
2029. I know I can
again,
do it.
the way Jason Tatum come back is so bad. I was gonna, I was gonna, when you posted your post yesterday, I was gonna comment Tatum walked so you could run, but then I deleted it. I was like, I don't know, it's not. I don't think it was insensitive because I knew you wouldn't take it that way. But I was thinking, imagine someone else did or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, let's get that speedy recovery because we can see what
Mm,
Tatum's been putting up numbers wise since his return, and in the playoffs, averaging more rebounds and I think more assists as well, which is crazy. And
mhm.
we're on the topic of basketball. We mentioned his name not too long ago, and his team crashed out as one of the
Mm,
contenders in the first round, the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. And it's so funny, as we were talking about Jokic, I think the phone algorithm thing, I've said it, it's real. The phones are listening. I had an athletic
mhm.
notification saying, "Is Denver's title window over?" Um, and but my question before that was, can Jokic still carry the title of the best player in the world? Because last month I called him that, but boy, oh boy,
See, I would say yeah, and I'm not gonna be a prisoner at the moment because Rudy Gobert and the Timberwolves did a job on them. Do you get what I mean?
Rudy
And
had the
did a
series of
solid,
his life defensively on him.
yeah, did a solid job. But I still think he's the best player in the world for what he does. I just feel like sometimes, bro, you can't rely on one man like we've seen with LeBron. One man for everything all the time. Like it gets to a point where you're gonna need other people to come along with them.
Mhm,
Health is a major factor in the Denver Nuggets. We've seen Aaron Gordon be so in and out, in and out. Jamal
Missed the
Murray,
last
just
2.5 games, if I'm not mistaken, innit?
yeah, and he's a big piece for them. Jamal Murray, if he's off, he's off. Do you get what I mean? If he's on, he's on. That's what it
But
is.
then Murray's had his best year this year.
Yes, he has. He has. But I still feel like Jokic is the best player in the world for what he does, for what he brings to the game. Everything he provides for the Denver Nuggets. Do I feel like their championship window's over? I think they got one more year in them to figure out what they want to do.
Mhm.
And then I feel like everyone's got to be going their separate ways because the West is so stacked. But Jokic for me is still the best player in the world. I won't give that title up too easy because of what he's done and what he considerably continues to do. So
On that quickly, what if Shea goes back to back exactly like last year?
in terms of he
Or
goes back to MVPs and then wins the championship as well.
if Shea goes back to back, obviously he'd likely win an MVP, but if he wins finals MVP, he'll only be the third person, I believe, ever behind Michael Jordan and LeBron James to ever win MVP and finals MVP in back to back years.
What do I put him as the best player in the world? No, I still think Jokic is the best player in the world. I just think Shea is on the much better team, the much deeper team, and Shea is putting up incredible numbers. But if I go individual player for individual player, I'm gonna go Jokic over him because one does more. Apart from and Shea defends better than him. Do you get what I mean? There's a on-ball defender, but I feel like one does more, and one has carried his team for so long. And Shea's been carrying his team for the past 4 or 5 seasons, but Jokic has really been doing it since his like second or third season in the NBA. So, I personally won't give up that title too soon. If he goes back to back, if Shea goes back to back and then next year has another great season and Jokic does the same thing in the playoffs similar, then it's Shea's title. But I feel like Wemby's going to come in and try and sneak and take that anyway. So it's tight up there.
I was gonna say, what about Wemby if the
It's
Spurs
tight
win
up
the
there.
title? And
It's, yeah. I can't give him best player in the world, but Jokic is going to be losing his grip on the best player in the world very, very quickly.
I mean, I think in some corners and some conversations he already is, especially with a first round exit against a Timberwolves team with Ant missed the last
Short-handed.
couple games,
Yep.
Dante DiVincenzo as well. So
Achilles
their
tear.
backcourt, obviously their backcourt doesn't affect Jokic in a head-to-head matchup like man-to-man.
Mhm.
But again, I feel like the conversation is allowed to be had for Shea
Yeah.
or Wemby, for instance, more so. And the reason why, the flip side to that, the reason why I've called Jokic the best player in the world last month and for the last couple of years, he's always, for the last over half a decade, let's just say 6, maybe 7 years, definitely 5, 6 years, he's always top 2, top 3 in MVP. So if he
Mm.
doesn't win it, he's second or third. And
Yeah.
I still think he's the most valuable player to a team um, in the NBA. And Giannis was similar until Giannis, he again, injuries started to affect him, whereas Jokic hasn't. Because I've seen some people do a bit of revisionist history on say, is Jokic basically Giannis? And I feel like over the last year or two, and that's partly because of availability, Jokic has overtaken him in all-time rankings, even though Giannis might be the better defensive player.
Mhm.
Jokic, for regular season especially, he's always top 2, top 3. Like,
Yeah.
if there was no double record, we'd be giving him MVP. Let's just be
Mhm.
honest. And I don't think he gets enough credit for being one of the few players that's always available.
Yeah.
Like this year was the first year he's actually suffered an injury that actually put him at risk of making the 65 game rule. He ended up making
Mhm.
it. But like when he won the MVP as a 6 seed, he had no players. Jamal
No
Murray
one.
was basically out that year or whatever. The
Mhm.
Nuggets team was trash. I've never thought the Nuggets team is a great team anyway, but
This what I was gonna say. They haven't ever
like,
been. They haven't. The 1 year they won it was the 1 year where I was like, okay, that was the team that was gonna win it in that state. After that, I was like,
yeah,
hey, I don't.
maybe I might be capping and there might be footage, but I never ever classed them as favorites. Like, and I think before the playoffs started, we said they needed a fully fit Aaron Gordon, and we thought Peyton Watson was going to be back before the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He missed everything, and that's their
Yep.
best 2 defensive players. And there needs to be a balance in the team. As much as people can get at Jokic for his defensive play, offense in the NBA still trumps defense
Every
by
time.
slight measures. Wemby's basically bridging that gap. To say
Yes.
nah, it's basically 50-50 in it, 'cause he's just
Mm-hmm.
a freak of nature. But we've seen it, like, even with their best defensive players out, they've still been the highest scoring team in the NBA this season. Obviously, now they're out again. But I just feel like most of Jokic's years, he hasn't had the benefit of having the perfect team or the most rounded team and stuff like that. Like, and if he doesn't have a great series, it could come back to bite him in the bum. And this year, especially. And I think this is where a lot of credit goes to Rudy Gobert, because he is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. He had a stigma on his name of when he was with the Jazz. People
Mm-hmm.
used to target him in the playoffs and somewhat, or even early Minnesota. Luka, we saw what he done to him with the Mavs. But
Yep.
Gobert basically, because Gobert made a comment, I think pre-series or beginning of the series, he was annoyed that he didn't become a finalist. So it was pre-series, or I mean, during the series for Defensive Player of the Year. It's like, boy, he's if you can somewhat stifle Jokic, Murray's going to get his own, but rest of the team, you could say there's a bad contract with Christian Braun. Christian Brown, that's how you say his name, Braun spelled.
Mm.
Uh, Brown, who came back, he's not the same Brown that he was
I was gonna say
when
him.
they won the title, because he was so important coming off the bench. He was their X
Mm-hmm.
factor. But when he left, got paid, come back, he's definitely not the same player. Maybe they made a mistake getting rid of Michael Porter Jr., because Michael Porter Jr., he gets a lot of slack for last year, and he played on the playoffs with basically a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
Was it shoulder also, I believe?
Yeah.
Because
Shoulder or back. I know it's something around
I
there.
remember
Yeah.
he had the strapping throughout,
Yeah.
like, and he still gave it his all and everything like that. Like, I just feel a lot of the Nuggets tenure since Jokic has been there, a lot of things haven't gone right for them.
Mm.
But
I'd
again,
agree.
when you're the
That's the
best player
NBA
in the
though.
world, you need to be making conference finals. That could be the flip argument, because he's only made 2.
That is true. That is true. But you're only as sometimes good as the people around you you get what I mean? Like he does his job. Like when you see his numbers, sometimes, and he's usually very efficient. This series, not so much, but when you do see his numbers and the stuff that he does do, you're like, well, it wasn't his fault. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what you look at. But you're right in saying maybe the coaching changes at the wrong time. Getting rid of Mike Malone, I don't know why. This year hasn't seemed to flow the way I thought it would have flown for them. So yeah, I think Mr. Stan, just like at Arsenal, might have to make some some decisions and see what he wants to do, because you know it's gonna be interesting. The West is only getting better.
And again, that goes to a point we've made on previous episodes. The NBA is in a more competitive space.
Mm-hmm.
Some you could argue better
100%.
or worse. It's in a more competitive space because, again, we've not had a team go back to back in nearly basically 10 years or so. If OKC do
Yeah.
it this year and they're favourites to do it, fair play to
Mm-hmm.
them. But like you said, the West is so deep. These lot physically beat each other up. Like, we've seen this is back to back years. People have somewhat been disappointed in the Timberwolves regular season,
Yeah.
and then the first
Playoffs
round
come.
they beat the Lakers 4-1 last year, and they've just beat the
Yep.
Nuggets without their backcourt for the last couple games 4-2.
Yeah. And
Like,
it's something, you get what I mean? And really and truly, if you look at it, who would we be playing next round? Houston or the Lakers?
no, that's okay. That's who OKC got.
Oh yes, they'll be playing what? The Spurs.
Yeah,
Yes, it's all right. It's home time, but there's
it would
there's
have been a great
opportunity
series if they had their
if Ant
backcourt.
was fit. Yeah,
And
everyone was
Dante,
healthy.
like, it would have, because the Timberwolves, like this. I think this is why people get disappointed with their season, even though there's not a second star. with Ant. They've got very good complementary players. Jaden McDaniels, we've now seen he can score. He scored his playoff high. We always knew he could defend. And maybe that
Yeah.
Ant statement of they got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
it might
It's
not be
true.
funny anymore. It might be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I feel like the Timberwolves can match up with a fully healthy team. They can match up with nearly any team in the NBA.
100%. They got the size to do it. They got the athleticism, and then they got they can defend everyone, and they can
Yeah.
score at a high enough clip to make you nervous. Do you get what I mean? An Ant could go for 50 any given night if he's there. You can see Julius Randle. We know what he was in New York, and we know what he can be when he's healthy and on his game. So it's like you can see, and then you got Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert is playing like a man possessed. They're in the shout. They're in the hunt for something.
Yeah. I'm
You got
just
Naz
so
Reid coming off the
disappointed.
bench. You
Yeah.
got players.
Yeah, you know Naz Reid's my guy. I love Naz Reid.
Yeah,
And then I was just ashamed that both Dante and Ant are gonna miss the Spurs series. Well,
because
Dante's got your injury, so
yeah.
he's out for the year, and then they think Ant won't be back for that
Few
series.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They
just like, bro, like against this Spurs team, this would have been a fantastic test. Like, because again, Timberwolves last 2 years they've made the Western Conference Final.
yep. Yep.
Unexpectedly, and they match up well versus the Nuggets because they beat them
Mm,
2 years ago, Western Conference Final, when they were down in double digits in
yep.
Denver, and they ran them down, not with ease, but they
They
done it
did.
so impressively. And then again, we've seen what they've done the last couple years. So um,
Mhm.
it's going to be regardless if OKC or the Spurs win the NBA Finals. Um, They're the only ones that won their series early out of this whole first round as well, funny enough.
Yeah, everyone else is still playing.
Everyone 6, 7 games. But they're both Shea's got a great argument because of his historical run of the 20 points, being the best player, easily the best player on the best team, even though the team's literally the best team
Yeah.
itself. But he can do more, create more history in terms of being back-to-back MVP and Finals MVP, and his shooting
Mhm.
percentage is crazy for a 30%. I mean, a 30-point scorer a game. It's I think 55%, if I'm not mistaken, for that
Yeah,
regular
he's
season.
yeah.
Flipping stupid. So Shea's got a fantastic argument, and then Wemby has because he is literally the alien. Jaylen Brown said, "I'm the best defensive player in the NBA or two-way player in the NBA." Then they asked him, "What about Wemby?" He said, "No, Wemby's not human, bro."
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Don't let the Spurs if the Spurs win it this year and they clock it, oh my gosh, the NBA is in trouble.
Mhm. Because boy, who's stopping them after that?
Bro,
Who is stopping them? Boy, and they're smart in the way they do things. You know, the Spurs keep players. They've got the right veterans around. They've got the right young players. Their old school veterans are always in the building helping out. So, bro, you know, if you let the Spurs win this one, hey, we're in for a rough 10 years. We already saw the dynasty. We're about to see it again.
didn't you see what they asked Wemby, it might have been after game one, about when not Duncan Robertson, Tim Duncan and David Robertson, look at me combining their names, and there is a Duncan Robertson in the league,
Yeah.
but Tim Duncan and David Robertson, them being courtside, if it adds to pressure. And he gave a great answer of, nah, it's no pressure. Like, they're there to basically lift me up when I fall. And I was like,
Yeah.
paraphrasing, but I was like, bro, one, Wemby's great to listen to post matches or in general, because he just seems so IQ off the scale. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone seems intact. Like, NBA is good because the old players, they generally support their teams. Like, they'll be there for their
Yeah.
teams in the playoffs. We've seen it in this playoffs. But we've always also seen like old heads in general in the NBA hate on the younger generation. But like you said, the Spurs in particular, everyone is in sync. Like
Mm-hmm.
the young players, Wemby loves them, they love him. Like there's no animosity. Wemby lets them get theirs, they let him get
Mm.
his if he needs to cook. We've seen Stephon Castle, he's a joke. Like he can
Yeah.
explode on both ends of the floor. Like he's immense. He's gonna make all defense, or he definitely should, maybe even first team. And then Dylan Harper, when he won game 3 when Wemby was out, he was the main
Yeah.
guy for them. Just like, bro, that's yeah, the
Mm.
best player in the world conversation. We're gonna revisit this.
Yes. Yes, we will. We have to.
Uh, one more question for you before we sign off.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'd like to think I answered Arsenal in depth last week. I'm gonna ask you on Man United since they're my team.
Mm.
And putting your neutral sporting hat on, not your hater hat. Do you think, because United are basically confirmed more or less for Champions League, we'll see once they beat Liverpool on Sunday, they'll definitely be confirmed. Do you think Carrick should get the United job?
Me personally, I give it to him. Me personally, I give it to him. I feel like he's done a hell of a job since he's been there. He's changed the style of football. You can see the people around the building like him. And that's the main thing to happen. You want, like, the people around the building like him, the players like him, the style of play has changed. You see the enthusiasm. You see Man United again. That's what I'd
Mm.
be real. Like, you now fear going to Old Trafford. You now fear Man United again. At one point, you guys became a laughing stock. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, oh, we're playing Man United. Okay, cool. Let's get the 3 points.
You didn't
So
lie.
now I feel like Carrick has brought something back that you always needed. I feel like he's invigorated the older players as well. Like you can see Casemiro enjoys kicking ball underneath him. You can see Bruno's playing at another level, even though he's on another level, best player in the Prem.
Say
He's
that again.
kicking.
So the
He's been the best
Arsenal,
player in the Prem.
Jacob's an Arsenal fan, by the way, guys. But a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
Arsenal fans, they've been trying to, because Bruno's now a real contender for PFA player. They're naming every other player's competition, and I'm like,
No,
what?
no, no. Bruno Fernandes has been the best player in the Prem for that. Since De Bruyne left, he's been the best player in the Prem now. So,
Wow, big statement. That.
like, no one else, like Shirky's going to probably take it when soon, but Bruno Fernandes is the best player in the Prem. So, yeah, I feel like you should give Carrick the job. Everything that he's done since he's come in has been perfect. And who else are you going to go and give the job to? Why are you going to go and take him out of this position and give it to someone that doesn't know the club, is going to implement another style, change a lot of things around? And then if it goes wrong, you're going to do what? Oh, let's get Carrick back in to steady the ship again. You may as well keep the man that's steady in the ship that's got you to third place. That's your highest finish in quite a while.
Well, if we finish in third, 'cause we can still technically finish fifth, but Champions League is the main.
Yeah, but finishing in the Champions League spot
Yeah.
after what all these previous managers have come in and said, oh, this squad needs this squad needs that. He's managed with this same squad to do something. Do you get what I
Mhm.
mean? He's winning those games that you were losing. He's going to Man City winning, going to Arsenal winning. So I don't see why you wouldn't do it. The only reason why I would see why you wouldn't do it is if you want a shiny, flashy new someone that's out there, you know, a
Mhm.
Xavi Alonso or Enrique or someone that wants to leave their job and come to you. But I don't think that it makes sense because the
Yeah.
man's in the building.
Yeah.
I think personally, give him the job. And if you don't want him, if Arteta goes, I'll take him down at my club, you know.
No, this guy and Arteta, funny. Before I go back to you, the only thing on the managerial front is I remember saying in my United chat, we've all kind of had this. If Enrique is available, he's the guy. But obviously, it looks like he's not available again. I think it was just all
Yeah,
talk for him to get his new contract. Blah blah. I
of
think
course.
every team would want Enrique, but if Enrique wasn't available, the United hierarchy really need to do their due diligence in taking Carrick in consideration because his form since he's been there, the 13 games, 9 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. That's top of the table form. I believe form
Hmm.
league-wise, United are top of the table since he's arrived or second or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, the criticism towards him from fans and ex-United players, who some of them just seem to be haters as well. But there is some truth in terms of recent games or how we played recently and stuff like that would just seem to be get compared to our performance, like say Man City, Arsenal early on in his tenureship, the performances haven't been as great. But the flip side is we're still getting the results. And I think as a caretaker, he's done everything you'd want a caretaker to do. Um,
Hmm.
Given the squad, obviously we've been out of competition, so we've hardly played games. It seems like, from what I've read, he's not made the training sessions intense, like or fitness wise crazy, but I think they've just been short intensity ones. So it seems he's catered to the personnel of the squad. And initially I was like, don't do a Solskjaer again. But at the same time, then Solskjaer, they just gave it to him early. Like they literally appointed it still during the season and there was still
Mm.
enough time. Whereas this one, it's like they're seeing out the season and I'm like, bro, if he gets it, I actually have no complaints because I was listening to Rio Ferdinand the other day, and Rio made a good point about preseason. He's like, as viewers, we don't take that serious enough, rightfully so. And I'm paraphrasing that, but for a manager, it's stupidly important, as well as players by default. But for a manager, if he can actually have his own preseason and then increase intensity, for instance, on the fitness front, on just overall
Mm.
style of play, it's like we don't know the
Yeah.
positive. There could be more positive where we really get to see character tactical nous, and we've seen it in some instances. We've seen central midfield, for instance, Kobe and Casemiro. He's basically swapped them. Kobe's the
Yeah.
one that comes deeper to get the ball, and Casemiro's a bit. He's been on a jolly up as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro,
Yep.
he's always deep in the box. He's having the time of his life, and I think that's
Mm.
partly because he knows he's leaving, and it's actually working out. But like,
Yeah.
Kobe's been the. I feel like their partnership, this tenure on the Carrick, Casemiro's needed Kobe more than Kobe's needed Casemiro.
Yeah.
Where you'll think it automatically the other way around because of their experience and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one shout out Kobe Minor because new contract. He nearly left on the Amarin. Oh my gosh. I just have to point that out there. But our own is staying because we love him. But yeah, just again, like you said, the job that he's done, before I hand back to you on United and Carrick, as a caretaker is perfect. Like there's always going to be things to criticize or be critical
Mm-hmm.
against. I've been critical in games of some tactic things, some substitutions, because Middlesbrough, this was something Borough fans used to say, like he'd take too long to make substitutions and other things didn't work out. But like, bro, Man United, the guy knows the club to a T, and I feel like his composure, he's got the respect of the players and his natural composure. We see it through. We don't see no theatrics on the touchline, but we don't know what's happening behind those.
100%. I feel like his calm mind from he's the translation from him as him as a player to him as a manager is perfect. He was calm mind on the pitch. He was a sensational football player on the pitch, underrated, and I feel like he's taken that into manager into being a manager. So yeah, man, I like him. I like him a lot as a manager, and I feel like the losses you guys have had a lot of red cards in them losses or draws. You get what I mean? People have been making some interesting decisions, obviously. So I can't blame him. And you
I
guys have
mean,
been one of the best.
the refs have been making interesting decisions.
Correct. Correct. That's that too. That too. But you guys have been playing good football. Like Man United have been a good team to watch. Whenever I've turned you guys on like a Monday night football or a Saturday night when I can watch the games, you've been interesting to watch, as in like you're moving the ball, you can see patterns of play, you can see things. You're like, oh, they're really a good footballing team. So
On that quickly, even the Brentford game this Monday just gone, the first 20 minutes of it, United should have been arguably 3-0 up. And then
100%.
Brentford woke up and the game was really bad. Brentford should have had goals because people like how Brentford haven't scored at halftime. They should be pissed. I was like, that's right,
Thiago
but
was doing
United should have
nonsense.
been 4-2 up at halftime.
Yeah, because Thiago was just, I don't know if he knew where his feet were. I don't know what he was
Yeah.
on that day. But people were just saying he scores in, it's Brentford strike is always weird. 3 p.m. games where no one's watching, Brentford strikers. That's where they come alive. And Buemo was the same. Yeah,
No, here we go.
when it's on TV, the man ain't that no more. But you're right in saying that. They play great football and you can see even the players that you wouldn't expect to be playing this type of football, like Harry Maguire has been called everything, but you can see he's playing the passes. The young boy that's playing left side centre half, sometimes right side centre half. I don't know his name.
Uh, well, last 2 games has been heaven, but before it was Euro partnering Maguire when Lissandro Martinez was injured. So Heavens played the last couple games.
Yeah, he's looked good. Like he's trusting in young
Yeah,
players to come in and do a job. You get what I mean? So I feel like he's bringing back Man United. And as an Arsenal fan, hey, I want you guys to be good so we can actually get a real rivalry back. We need to get City out of here, and then we can get the real Premier League back to where it should be.
I hear it still. I definitely hear it. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely some cons towards like Carrick in general, and I feel like that's natural. But there's been an overarching more pros in terms of what he's
Mm,
got out of this current squad, which it seemed like previous managers couldn't. For instance, obviously this
mm.
stint is slightly shorter, but he's had. I think the 9 wins he's had is it took. I don't even think Amarin got up to 9 wins in a year, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong.
No, you're
um,
probably right. Probably
I
right.
think he might have reached 8 or maybe touched 9, I can't remember, but, like, he's maximising the current squad that he's got, do you know what I mean? Like, he's playing to their strengths.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna work. Again, that's the nitpicking aspect. That's the era and generation that we're in. We've got too much access, so it's easy for us to naturally chat shit, right or wrong, there and there on the spot. Do you know what I mean? But when
Hmm.
you look at the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things and the bigger picture, he's helping to put the club back in a great position this off-season coming up, where we're gonna be in Champions League. We can spend even more, and we can compete again in terms of signings to materialize a better squad, which might obviously he's probably thinking in the sense, if I get the job, this is the players that I want in, this is how I'm gonna play
Hmm.
a style of play. Because we definitely need better players. Get me? One,
Yeah.
compete to win the league, but two, we're in Champions League. We need better players. We need a bigger squad. We need a better squad of players. Because another thing you can see is if some players are missing from our starting 11, we have we have no substitute bench. Like Brentford,
Right.
some one or two people complained about subs. I was like, bro, there's one game I did not complain about the subs that he made and the timing of his subs.
Mm.
Mate,
You ain't
we
got no
had
one to come on really.
like Cunha was out, Euro was out. No, Euro was back on the bench, but Cunha's out, Lissandro Martinez is out. Let's just say, and Dorgu was on the bench, but Dorgu's not fit. Like, there's there's not much you can do.
Yeah. 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 You're playing with your 11, and whatever we bring on is what we bring on, essentially.
Yeah. I think people
So
sometimes fans we get sport for choice because again we got too much access to what is said, what's shown to us. But again, the one thing I'll always reiterate and I'll always say, being a manager, football manager or manager of a sporting team especially a top sport, it's the hardest job in the world. It can be the most fulfilling because if you get sacked in football, you're gonna get a nice payout. So it's
mm,
probably the best job to get sacked at. But it's
yeah.
the hardest job in the world because you managers really have to put in the extra hours. We read about it or hear about it, the best managers. Like the times that they're at the training ground and the times that they're leaving the training ground, for instance,
Hmm.
or the ones that have to get particular people around them to delegate certain stuff to. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that come into place, and he seems to have got his backroom staff right. Where people complain, they were like, "Oh, Johnny Evans," but Johnny Evans knows this current squad. He was a player
Knows that.
last season, and then a great
Hmm.
job was bringing in Steve Holland, who's worked under England, who's worked under big managers, and he knows
Yeah.
how to coach. Do you know what I mean? So,
It makes sense, and I feel like if he doesn't get the Man United job, he'll get the Bournemouth job.
well, I saw yesterday apparently Iraola's a strong contender for United.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
Bournemouth. Bournemouth selected their manager. They got Marco Rose.
oh yes, they do.
They got Marco
They
Rose.
do.
They announced it
I,
last
I
week, I
I
think.
feel like he'll get a Prem job if he doesn't get the Man United job anyway. I think
I
someone. I know there's not many available. Well. Do you know what job might be available? I don't know if you want to do it. Chelsea.
I mean, he can put his name in the hat now for a lot of these kind of jobs if they become available. It's actually, I didn't think of that one, but
I just don't know if you want to do it because you don't have any control over anything at that place. So
yeah.
that's the only problem. But
I think a
I
man
think
will only go to Chelsea with the two things is one, I could potentially turn this around, or two, if I get sacked, I'm getting a decent payout.
Yeah, well, there's that. There's a Crystal Palace job.
Yeah,
They're looking like they're gonna win Conference League, so you'll be a Europa League side,
fingers crossed for
guaranteed.
you.
Yep, you'll be Europa League side guaranteed. You have a squad that you can build on. You can have
Mhm.
that job. The Fulham job may be up for grabs. I don't know if you go Fulham though, but it's not
But
a
if
bad
it's
job.
available for him, because I don't think Marco Silva's contract's on this summer, and I think he's
Yeah,
also been linked with Chelsea actually. Fulham's not a
and
bad
then there's
spot
one
for
more job
him.
that's weird, but it might be available. The Sunderland job might be available because I'm hearing lots of stuff coming out about that. So it's another place there where I don't know how stable it is and if you want to go there, but it's another opportunity. You get what I mean? Big club, and their squad is good enough to stay in the league, and you can build on that for years to come.
You know, if you don't get the United job, but there will be I think there will be options for him. Now you've actually read out the clubs, it just made me think. It's like, yeah, there will be options for him. But again,
Mm,
if at this very moment, if Carrick gets the job, I don't think there should be a lot of complaints. Don't get me wrong, I'll understand the hesitation and the like initial should he get it, but the market is not like that at the moment. So, like I was saying, the United board, they've got a decision to make, but I don't think there should be too much complaints if he gets a job permanently, to be honest.
me either. Me either.
Come
I
on,
think he
glory,
deserves it.
glory, Man United. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, we got titles to win next year.
Mm,
Ah,
yeah.
no more 40 games. That was an anomaly, but yeah, we moved. Song of the week.
Yes, yes, yes. My song of the week this week is from the artist 320. I've had them before, and it's one of their new tracks. It's called Such Is Life. They've been
Right.
getting me through these few weeks, boy. Their music is sensational. So be prepared to see it on Instagram when I start posting a lot more. So yeah, they'll
I
be
mean,
they're the soundtrack to my rehab.
the title goes perfect with current standings, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Mine is Strands, No Peace, No Time. Been listening to a lot of Strands
Mm-hmm.
recently. I think Strands is wavy. I don't actually go out my way to listen to him until recently, and I'm like, bro, anytime I hear his tracks, I'm like, yeah. So
Yeah. Nice, nice, nice.
Strands it is. All right, people, then. Thank you all for locking into this episode of Through a Different Lens podcast, as Dej likes to say.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
And then the man himself,
Like and subscribe.
what he said, hit those buttons, get in the comments, and as usual, we'll keep on delivering. But as we're in May, it's time to May myself out of this. Didn't even make sense, but F it, nothing makes sense in life at this current moment. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
get me, Joe. I am signing out.
Jacob signing out.
Thank you for
Listening.
listening.